Hello, biology. I hope you're well. Today, we're going to be talking about renewable energy and non-renewable energy. So let's go into it. Obviously, we're learning energy that we use to power things like our homes, our cars, our gadgets, okay? And the way to power these energy can come from two different sources, renewable energy and non-renewable energy. So let's start with non-renewable energy, okay? So non-renewable energy we can split into four. Okay, you've got oil, coal, and gas, and these three we call fossil fuels. And you've also got nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is a little bit controversial. Some people say it's non-renewable. Some people say it's renewable. We'll have a little discussion later why. The three fossil fuels are coal, oil, and gas. Okay, coal is solid, oil is liquid, and gas is a gas, obviously. Now, coal we usually use to heat our homes. Well, we did in the past. It's not very common anymore, but we do use coal in coal plants. We burn the coal, which releases energy, and then obviously we can use that energy. Oil has many uses. Again, it's something you have to burn, but we refine oil. And obviously, the most common one would be something like petrol for our cars. Finally, natural gas, we usually use that to heat our homes. That's the most common way to do it now instead of coal, and also to cook our food, of course. Okay. Now, fossil fuels were formed over millions of years from dead plants and animals. Okay. As animals and plants are carbon-based, burning them releases energy and carbon dioxide. Okay? Too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere contributes to the greenhouse effect and in turn global warming. We looked at the greenhouse effect and global warming, and we basically understood that too much carbon dioxide can actually cause global warming. Okay? Unfortunately, burning coal, burning oil, burning gas releases lots of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Another non-renewable energy source is nuclear energy. So nuclear energy uses uranium, a radioactive element. Remember, fossil fuels use carbon. Nuclear energy uses a different element, uranium. So in nuclear energy, what happens is that an atom of uranium, and an atom which is a very, very tiny particle of the element uranium, they split that atom, and that releases an enormous amount of energy. Okay, this energy heats water, and that powers steam turbines to generate electricity. So with nuclear energy, there is no carbon release, so it doesn't affect our atmosphere. However, it does release nuclear waste. This can be very dangerous if we do not use it correctly, and we have to bury it deep underground and wait for it to decay, which can take thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, millions of years. Okay, if we do not treat it carefully, it can be very dangerous, and it can cause us to suffer from radiation damage. So non-renewable energy sources are finite. That means there is a limited amount. It will not last forever. Once we reach a point where there is no more non-renewable energy sources, that's it. There is nothing else we can do. Okay, and we know it takes millions of years to form, so we'd have to make millions of years if it ever runs out. So now we're going to look at renewable energy sources, and we're going to look at six in particular. Okay. So the first one is solar energy. Okay. Obviously, you need solar panels to do this, and we just directly use the radiant or light energy from the sun, and we can convert that into electricity. Wind energy, which uses wind turbines, obviously uses the movement of the wind, which is infinite, again to turn that into a mechanical energy, which we convert into electricity. Hydroelectric energy, okay? This is where we use the movement of the water in a river or a reservoir, and we need to build a hydroelectric dam. The water will pass through the dam, and as it does it, it spins turbines, okay, which can generate electricity. Tidal energy, not as common as the others, but still quite important. Something important here is geography. It cannot be used everywhere. Places in Northern Europe, like around the UK, Scandinavia, they use tidal energy a lot. Basically, you have these stations in the middle of the sea, and this station has a turbine, and then the movement of the tide, so the water in the ocean, not in a river or a reservoir, the water in the ocean spins these turbines, and we use that tidal energy to create electricity. Geothermal energy. So under the ground, there is hot water, okay? And what we can do with geothermal energy is we can take that hot water out of the ground, and that water will release steam, and then those steams can power turbines to generate electricity, okay? We send this hot water into a cooling tower, and then that water can return back into the ground, okay, where it can be heated again. So these plumes of smoke, that is not carbon dioxide, that is actually water vapor, okay? So though it looks quite harmful, it's not, it's very, very safe. And obviously, because we are returning the water to the ground and it will heat up again, this is an infinite supply, okay? Finally, biomass energy. Here I've got some pictures of some logs, but biomass energy can come from lots of things like dead animals, other dead plants, and it can even come from animal waste, so poo, okay? The only one problem with biomass energy is that it can release carbon dioxide or methane. So though it's not as harmful as coal, oil, and gas, it does release carbon dioxide or methane into the atmosphere, which contributes to the greenhouse effect and contributes to global warming. The argument with biomass energy is that we are planting trees which can absorb the carbon dioxide. So yes, it releases carbon dioxide, but we need to plant material which actually takes the carbon dioxide. So it's kind of renewable in this way. So renewable energy sources are infinite, okay? We will never run out. We will always have, well, for as long as we're alive on the planet, we'll always have plenty of sunlight. There will always be wind. There will always be water running through rivers, okay? Most of these renewable energy sources do not release carbon dioxide, so they are not harmful for our planet. So a question is, if renewable energy sources are infinite and don't affect the atmosphere, then why do they only count for 20% of our energy sources? 80% of all our energy sources is from coal, oil, and gas. And we know that's really, really dangerous for our atmosphere. So why do we use it so much and only the good energy, renewable energy, is only 20%? There are two main reasons. The first one is efficiency, okay? Coal, oil, and gas, we only need a small amount, and burning them releases an incredible amount of energy, okay? So it's very, very efficient. Other sources of energy like solar energy, wind energy, hydroelectric energy, they're useful, but they do not produce as much electricity. And to produce the same amount of energy, it will take a much longer length of time. So fossil fuels are more efficient. Another factor which plays into it is money. Companies that are in the coal, oil, and gas industry, the fossil fuel industry, they are very, very rich. We are talking about organizations that have billions and billions of dollars, okay? These companies actually pay governments to make sure that their source of energy is the priority, okay? So maybe we need a change in how we think as a society to move away from these rich fossil fuel companies and focus on these renewable energy sources. But this will be quite difficult to do because fossil fuel companies have a lot of money and are influencing the way governments act. So that concludes our video today. What I want you to do now is go to Google Classroom, and there's a fun little activity that I'd like you to do. So see the instructions there. Bye-bye, guys.